Hey Scorpio, your May tarot reading is ready. I'm Eleanor and welcome to Pink Pearl Tarot. Your main theme for May is air and it says motion, and then your happiness affirmation that goes with it. It says involve yourself in busy work. Do something to keep your mind busy. Okay, I didn't mean to knock all those out of place when I picked those up. So, what this means for May is that it's all about mobilizing yourself and taking action rather than getting stuck in your head and ruminating. So I want to be clear that this doesn't get confused with avoidance. Doing whatever it is that's in your power, however small or indirect, is good for anxiety and the human psyche. So, like, what would sound like an exciting way to keep your mind active and engaged in May? There's some reason they're wanting to steer you away from an idle mind, or just like a mind that's looking to be entertained. So that's gonna be something different for everyone, like not letting fear creep in, or the despair of powerlessness or apathy or inertia, being easy to manipulate, what have you. So thinking and worrying, just they don't do anything, but they serve a purpose though, and that's to spur you into strategizing and acting. And there's also something about being an unstoppable force once you are in motion and focused on a goal. And so for the first question I've asked is, what is a new action that you can try in May? An idea for actions you can take. And you have the Six of Hazards. This is the Six of Pentacles in the zombie deck. So it talks about the movement of resources, including time and kindness, also reciprocity, motives, and balance. There's so much wrapped up in this energy, but it can refer to volunteering time or resources to people or a purpose that need it. It's donating, it's paying it forward, it's returning favors, making mutually beneficial trades, voting with your dollars. It could be facilitating the distribution of resources. Now, generally speaking, this card is about acting on a situation that is out of balance in order to restore that balance. And typically it's regarding external entities. But if your big concern is something that's internal, then it means acting on your own behalf to regain balance. So, like, what have you been depriving yourself of? What kindness can you show yourself? It's like, on the other hand, though, it's well documented that getting outside of yourself and assisting someone else can get us out of a funk, because it gets us out of the self-absorption that can drive us deeper into it. So just food for thought there. So for where you will see the most change in May, you have the Ten of Swords. Sorry, it's a little dark. I'm trying to make use of what little is the sun is left. So Ten of Swords, something that has been really harshing your mental health or painfully occupying your mind can finally come to an end. Now, it might not be a happy ending. It might not end exactly the way you think would be ideal. It can at least be closed out so that you can finally find peace. Okay, like for an example, okay, my son, when he was little, he was terrified at a certain point about me and his dad getting divorced. And when we finally did, and we sat him down to talk about it and what his life was going to look like, he took it shockingly well. And he said that the reason was because he was terrified of the unknown. He couldn't imagine what life would be like. It was just this black hole, and that was so scary. But when we explained the specific ways his life would change and he would be taken care of and prioritized, then he was able to accept it, because now it was known. The black hole had been filled in with solidity. So that's where I see change potential for you in May. So for what will be your biggest obstacle? Biggest obstacle, you have judgment. So for some of you, it could be just on its face, the fear of judgment or the concern of what other people think. Fear of consequences, fear of negative consequences. For others, it could indicate a need to reconcile something from your past before you can move forward. That might be why that Six of Pentacles is the new thing to try, because it could restore some type of karmic balance. And I could also see resistance to a call, like knowing in your soul what is needed, and then having to summon the strength to answer and face whatever that is head on. But the thing about the Judgment card is it represents something that's inevitable. And like I said, motion with busy work, that doesn't mean avoidance. It means taking the needed action to move the needle, to turn the tide, to end a struggle once and for all, whatever that is for you. Like, it can only be deferred for so long. And this just makes it sounds like it's that time. It's up for review. It's up for fixing. It's catching up. So for the best thing about the month, let's turn it around and talk about the best thing about May. You have the High Priestess. So you will be guided every step of the way. Your intuition and your instincts will be on point. You will know exactly what you need to know, when you need to know it, and maybe without even knowing how you know. You might not know more than that, but you will know what you need to know. It's being able to sense the unseen and deepening your understanding of the truth of the situation. So you might even be in a position to use your intuitive gifts to help others with that Six of Pentacles action. So for your influence and impact on others, card 5, you have the 5 of Cups. Okay, so this is actually, it's starting to come together now. Because they're showing you in contact with people who have experienced loss. So you could be helping people rebuild, helping them process. You could be inspiring by demonstrating your own resilience, helping people reframe what they're going through. This could mean 1,000 things, from ranging from helping people that are having relationship troubles with advice, or it could go all the way to like disaster response, like sandbagging. Like I remember back in the 90s, everyone, the town coming together to sandbag when we had a huge flood. So for me, the 5 of Cups energy is more about what remains after a loss than the loss itself. It's a card that asks you what it is that you're focusing on if you were that person who has experienced loss. So hopefully people will see you for the blessing that you are in May, though not everyone will. Which brings me to the word motives I had used when talking about that 6 of Pentacles, and this month about keeping your own mind engaged. So if you're doing it for the gratitude, you could be disappointed, is the point I'm trying to make. So for what opportunities to look for in May, you have the 9 of Swords. That's like dead nuts on, okay? So there's definitely a theme here. Opportunities to address your anxiety, opportunities to solve problems, opportunities to act on what's keeping you up at night instead of just laying there awake about it. And this could also look like finding opportunities by reframing the situation. Like something might not come in the recognizable package labeled opportunity. It might be a case of creating the opportunity out of a concern. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here. It's just what's coming through. It's like the action might not be a direct solution. Like say, okay, you're stress knitting, and knitting doesn't actually solve the problem at hand, but you knit so much that you take care of Christmas for the next 3 years, or you have enough inventory to make a pretty penny on consignment. See, something like that. So for where you will find the most support, you have the 8 of Swords. Your power of perception and to change that perception is what can support you the most throughout this month. You become supported by the power of your thoughts, your intellect, and choice making after you discover the ephemeral nature of mental obstacles. So that discovery lights you up with the power to move forward freely again from self-imposed restrictions. Essentially, it's saying that it's less about getting support than it is about getting out of your own way. And that means getting out of your head, just like your theme suggests. So for your self-care directive, you have the Page of Swords. So maybe getting out of your own head wasn't the right terminology, but definitely getting out of your own way. Getting your mind out of your own way. Let me put it that way. Okay. It's prioritizing your mental health through communication, healthy social media boundaries, and curation. Exercising your brain, giving it something healthy to chew on, something to occupy it besides spiraling. Feeding your curiosity with high quality information and letting that information challenge your thoughts and help you strengthen your critical thinking skills. Something about that word busy work and that affirmation makes me think of raw data that you have to actually analyze and come to your own conclusions about rather than letting an algorithm or another person tell you what it means. So challenge yourself to draw your own conclusions. It could mean finding new ways to express yourself rather than keeping it all in. I feel like some of you could discover an area of complacency. I also feel storytelling strongly with this. Like something that I've been doing personally that I feel like fits this example. I've been selecting movies on YouTube instead of the news every time. Like I watched The Secret Garden, The Little Prince, like some of my childhood favorites. Not to bury my head in the sand and to ignore what's going on, but for balance. So I can, like, it's like eating, you can't just eat candy all the time. We have to have something that's of substance. So it could mean reading a book instead of watching a movie. It boils down to feeding your brain good quality food and not just junk food. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Much love, and I'll talk to you next month. Thank you.